I've got to say, Onea, I've missed you.
I've missed you too. I heard you went out of town and
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, and it was quite an experience. Let me tell you that for sure.
Well, how was the weather? Because you came home to snow.
Well, let me just tell you the whole trip.
Okay.
Okay, I went to Palm Springs to help a friend of mine open his new shop, which is called Bolsa, B-O-L-S-A.
Okay.
Which I guess is Spanish for bag. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So one of the major things he's carrying in this shop are purses that are all made with vintage material, one of a kind. I mean, it's incredible.
I love the one you showed me last night. It looked like a big change purse with those big balls on it that you twist.
Right, and the material's incredible, right? Okay, well, he gave that to me, by the way, as a gift because I worked my buns off while I was there. But this line of vintage purses is amazing. It's like nothing you've ever seen. They're usually all one of a kind. If the lady who is the creator of this has enough material to make two purses, then she'll make them a completely different style so there are never two exactly alike. But you can look it up on Facebook, bolsa.com. But let me tell you what happened, okay? So I got there the day before it was to be the grand opening. When I got there, his carpet, his rugs had not come in, so I ended up painting walls, going up and down the ladders, then the rugs, because he put rugs together of different colors, and by the way, like shag rugs, like they used to have. Did you ever have shag? Okay. Do you remember the rakes and all of that they had in shag? Well, anyway, it's the interior design, his idea is incredible. But I'm taping.
What color is it?
Well, he'd have like one strip of silver, then one layer or, strip of green, and then a strip of silver, and then a strip of purple, and then a strip, on and on.
I like that.
And actually what he did was after he laid it on the floor, then on one side of the wall, he ran the rugs up the wall of the same color.
Oh.
Think about that even for like in your house.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Like in a room, a bedroom or something.
Nice.
So this other little gal and I were on the floor, double stick tape, taping the rugs together and then on the floor. And so it was physical labor. And then we kept the shop open until 10 o'clock at night.
Wow.
So I was exhausted.
Those are long days.
Yeah, and I missed you. I miss everybody. I like to come home and touch back in with my routine. But my trip back, I took the wrong highway. Instead of coming 10 east, I ended up taking 10 west because I was so focused on 10 west, which I had to take out there, right?
Yes.
That all of a sudden I thought, why is there all this traffic? I'm on the outskirts of LA.
Oh my goodness. When did you realize? When you started seeing the city?
Not soon enough. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Okay. So then I had to backtrack 2.5 hours. I was like a space cadet because I was so tired, right?
Yeah.
Then I stopped to get gas, locked my keys in the car.
Oh my God.
Okay. My AAA card, everything is locked in the car. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but coming back was an experience. Took me 9 hours to get back home, which should have been 4.5 hours.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
It was terrible.
That's terrible. Well, and I was wondering, why didn't you just stay another night?
My friend Cooper suggested that.
Yeah.
But I was like,
you're ready to get home.
Right. And then
now, did you come home to the snow?
Yes, I did. I was just going to say that as I'm coming up the mountain, it's getting colder and colder and colder, and pretty soon here's all that snow.
Yeah, I didn't expect that snow, but I guess they forecasted, obviously.
Well, that's the other thing. I didn't get to listen to any news while I was gone, so I didn't hear any weather. Nobody told me it was cold and snowing back here, so it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Their weather was mostly windy. I guess this is their windy season.
Oh, they're windy, okay.
Like the Santa Ana winds or whatever that is comes up, and windy. But it just was nice to get home in my routine, although I enjoyed that too.
Right, of course.
And met some great people.
Yes.
And he paid me.
Well,
you know, he doesn't expect me to do work for him for nothing.
Well, I've never really been to Palm Desert?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs, okay.
There is a Palm Desert, but this was in Palm Springs.
Okay.
He has an interior design shop there, and he was carrying these bags like a sideline. They were flying out of the store, and he thought, you know, I need to open a little store downtown where the tourists go. So
I'll have to go check it out.
Do it, because it's like nothing else you've ever seen.
Yeah, I like taking the 10 down. Is that 10?
10.
That you take down, okay. Yeah, I like taking the 10 if I go into California.
Which I don't do very often, but in this particular case, remember, it's 10 west going and 10 east coming back. Yeah, which I didn't do. So what did you do while I was gone for 2 weeks?
Well, I worked, took care of the kids, and, you know, not much else. We got a place with a pool.
Nice.
So the kids have been swimming, and it's just been nice.
I think having a pool is one of my dreams. Excuse me, I had one years ago.
Yeah.
But if it's not heated, even in the heat of Phoenix.
Yeah, it's not heated.
No, it was pretty cold until, well into like June, July time. And then I remember by the end of September, it would start getting just the water.
Right.
Okay, cold again. And I guess I'm a wimp because I wanted night like a bathtub.
Yeah, 70, 80 degrees.
So, whatever. But yeah, I miss that.
Yeah, it is nice. But no, nothing as exciting as you.
Nothing as exciting as me. And I know where to go to get into a pool now.
Yes, you do.
And get to see you at the same time. All of our people out there are probably wondering what kind of subjects we pick, because we always seem to choose a subject that has a lot to do with metaphysical or spiritual, or you know, things like that, or self-improvement, power of positive thinking.
Well, I think we talk about subjects that make people think outside the box, not just that typical, you know,
run of the mill,
fine line. You know, we kind of go outside of the fine
box,
line, you know.
And we do in more ways than one, I know. But which I think it's nice. At least we're not always like a gossip TV talking about the entertainment or the stars or what's going on. I feel like you're right. We present food for thought.
Perfect way to put it.
I wonder if we should rename our show.
Food for thought?
I kind of like that.
I like that too.
Well, all right, let's think about that. And speaking of food for thought, because you and I have talked a little bit about what happens in the world beyond, or death and dying.
Yeah, and well, that brings up something, because I've actually gone to several funerals in the last couple of
years,
but not that. I went to a few funerals while you were gone. So
really,
yeah. So I had a couple of aunts. Actually, I had 3 aunts die real close together.
You what you did while I was gone. That's a little bit on top of just working. Okay.
Yeah. So we went to a couple of funerals, and one was a memorial for the 2 because they died real close together, and then a funeral for the other. And I guess that is probably a good topic to get into, as far as, you know, what happens when you are getting prepared, when you're preparing, you as a person preparing to pass.
To leave the physical.
To leave the physical world.
And I know in one of our topics that we've had, or things we've talked about, we actually did mention that how sometimes souls will come in about the same time and often choose to leave around the same time. So,
meaning like same time of year?
Well, close to one another. Like if one passes, then quite often soon someone else passes.
Okay.
Like your aunts, for instance. Even if they didn't have the same age, or were not necessarily born around the same time, but may end up leaving near one another.
One of the 2 aunts that we had the memorial for were sisters.
Right.
And they passed real
How
close
far
together.
apart were they in age?
Probably about 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had some kind of an agreement to come in together and be together, and then kind of leave around the same time.
Okay.
You know, that happens quite often.
Well, and a lot of times too, you'll see if a partnership, like a married couple, one passes, and then the spouse will go within that year.
Within that year or sooner.
Or sooner,
yeah.
yes.
Because they just don't want to be apart. But I know what you were talking about. Preparation?
Yeah, preparation, like you as the individual knowing that you're going to pass on. And, you know, if it's due to age or an illness, you know, those type of preparation. Of course, if it's an accident, you don't have that awareness.
Right, and we're talking beyond making sure that your insurance is covered or, you know, your ducks are in a row as far as on this side of the world.
The physical world.
The physical world. Well, I do know that the more control you have over your thought process, we always talk about how thought is creative and powerful. The same is true with the preparation of crossing over into the spirit world. The more you're prepared and have the thought of where you're going or what to expect, the more control you have over of what you're going to encounter on the other side.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's interesting. So, so what you're saying is we can carry what's unresolved stuff over.
Absolutely. Which can be anything from prejudice, if you have prejudices or anger towards a person or dislikes, whatever those may be, you actually will carry that emotion with you to the other side.
Interesting. That's
so. As far as preparation, what you said, what we could do to prepare, if you know that if you have all that bundle of whatever, you know, I just call them prejudices in general. If you know you're going to take that with you to the other side, then why wouldn't you do something about it while you can on this side?
right. Well, and that, for me, I feel like that is the whole point of this journey from birth on, is to resolve and grow and learn and finish unfinished business.
You're so right. Unfinished business from previous lives, unfinished business that you've created in this lifetime. If you need to make an amends to someone or just get over whatever it is.
That's interesting, because I remember my grandmother saying, one of the last things my grandfather said, minutes, seconds before he passed away, was something like, please forgive me for
making your life miserable.
Exactly, for whatever it was. And as soon as he said that, he laid down and he passed away.
Because he had some peace.
Yeah.
Took care of something unresolved. However, if the other person he might have said that to, like your grandmother, hasn't forgiven him for whatever, I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
But if she hasn't...
It wasn't anything...
It wasn't anything big.
Yeah, it wasn't significant, just...
I understand.
Yeah.
But let's say it was. And the other person has not forgiven him, then that actually will hold that particular spirit from evolving to a higher place in the spirit world.
So people on this side can still be as much of a weight, in a sense, to you, to keep holding you back from
You're right.
moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not always just something like forgiveness or unresolved issues, okay? It can be like, I just miss you, I wished you were here, or I can't let you go kind of things. Because once again, we're back to energy.
Right.
So if my energy is holding you by me just not wanting to release you to go on, I can literally kind of hold somebody from progressing in their knowledge and learning, because we continue to grow and learn on the other side as well as this side.
That's, isn't that refreshing to know that? Isn't it good to know that it just doesn't end here? This physical body doesn't end here. It evolves and it still grows no matter what. But just how well you want it to be on the other side is what you need to resolve in this life.
Now, Onea, you just said something that made me think, isn't that refreshing to know? Not everyone thinks like we do.
Right.
So, and that's what makes the world go round.
That's
Not
right.
everyone has to believe the same way or think the same way. I know we both feel that way, that there is something beyond this physical.
That's true.
The physical is just an opportunity to come in and resolve issues or learn and grow. And yes, we continue that on the spirit world as well as here. But, like I say, if you've got a bagload of baggage that you're haven't taken care of, you're going to take it with you.
Okay.
Do you have an opportunity to take care of it on the other side? Yes, because we do continue to do that. But like I say, if somebody on this side is not releasing a person in the spirit world, they can hold them. They can hold them back. It's like being in a relationship here, and you're with someone that is holding you down or holding you back. It's that energy thing.
Same mental, same idea. Interesting. So it's not even just as important for you if you're the one getting ready to pass. It's just as important for people that are in your life, to allow you, because so many times I will hear stories of they waited for me to get there before they would pass. I would sit at their bedside and say it's okay to leave, and how powerful our will is to stay even on this side, but also for our people to allow us to move on to the next.
And how often have you heard the story where somebody did sit by someone's hospital bed or a bed for days, and they might go out for just a quick cup of coffee, come back to the room, and that person will have passed. And the person that's left back here says, oh my gosh, I just left for a minute to go get something to eat or a cup of coffee, when actually the spirit of the person that has crossed is saying, thank God that, they finally left, so now I can go.
Yeah.
The same kind of thing.
It's such a hard thing, and it's really, and it's such an emotional subject, especially when all of us have experienced death in some way with loved ones, friends, families, but it's an interesting thing, and it's something that people don't talk about.
Sure, it's one of those taboo
people
subjects.
Don't really talk about it, and I don't care what your belief system is, everybody must think, I would assume, everybody must think what is beyond this physical body.
And one of the things, the way I understand it anyway, and I've actually read a lot of books about it and have even watched some wonderful, like, they used to have a lot of angel stories on TV. I haven't seen any in a long time.
No, I haven't either.
You know what I'm talking about? Where people that had an illness or something or have had encounters with angels and their experiences. I'm kind of missing those. I don't think I've seen one in years.
There's a lot of like ghost hunters. There's a lot of like psychic medium type of shows, but no, there's not the angel story. Angel shows anymore.
And I don't like the ghost hunter ones because they always encounter an entity that's more of a negative than a good, positive, loving entity.
But that goes to show that those entities have unresolved issues, and they manifest to stay in a place and kind of haunt it,
they don't want to leave.
They don't want to leave.
They actually are referred to, they stay earthbound. And whether they're negative or positive, if they don't want to leave and remain here, this isn't the right place for them, but they stay earthbound, okay, until hopefully eventually that changes.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing a little girl that was very ill on one of those angel stories. And and maybe you remember this even, but every night she'd go to the other side, and the next morning she would tell her mommy all about it, that she saw grandma and this and that. But I'll never forget this. She said, if you want chocolate ice cream, poof, there's chocolate ice cream. If you want vanilla ice cream, poof, there's vanilla ice cream. And then she went, I don't know how it works, it just does.
Oh, how cute.
But what it showed me from that show and some others is that kind of what you expect heaven to be is what you're going to get initially anyway.
Right.
Until it changes into a different understanding.
And
that would work for me. Poof.
Chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate and poof, some of that, French fries. But it's what you expect that you're going to go to.
And that's what she was thinking, what her mind thinks about.
Which takes us back into the more control you have over your own thoughts and your own processes, the more control you actually have over the experience of the death and dying, because it's actually just changing from one energy form into another energy form.
Right. And that, if you really can grasp that, and of course as humans still will feel the emotions of losing a loved one.
Oh yes.
But to really grasp that and to really understand that it's not dead, it's not gone, it's just shifting.
Right. It's not like your petunia died.
Right.
Okay. And now you trash bag it. This is just changing from one energy form into another energy form, but it's alive.
Okay.
And
interesting.
That's what we usually refer to as spirit.
Okay. That's right.
That kind of a thing.
Right.
I do know that sometimes even there have been, what would you call them, exercises that people can do to even help prepare like I call it a ship of some kind, you can travel in to help you experience leaving the body, going into the light. I would like to hope I'm going to go into the light and have a little help, getting me there. But you can even create like a shape of some kind in your imagination that you can put yourself into to help you travel.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Is that confusing?
No, just just something that you can understand to take you to a journey, like a vehicle.
That's the word I was trying to think of.
A vehicle to take you from this form to the next.
That's exactly the word I couldn't think of, Onea, so I called it a ship, but vehicle is the exact right word.
Okay.
Thank you. And
we're such visual creatures anyway, so even though this is outside the box, as we said, and a lot of people don't talk about this or have thought about it but didn't know how to even bring this subject up, how comforting it would be to maybe us plant a seed to let people know, okay, you can have a vehicle to take you to the other side.
Yeah, you can create that in your imagination and thought and make it anything you want, right?
Yeah.
I'd like a Mercedes or a Jag.
Ooh.
That would be nice
to
travel with. That's right, go out in style.
I would actually probably use the ship, the cruise ship out in the ocean,
Yeah, because you like that. You like that water. By the way, Cooper's getting ready to go on this big sailing trip.
Oh, I want to go.
And I know you have always wanted to do that.
Yes.
But he says you have to get a little sailing experience before you can do that.
When I win the lottery,
then
I'll
you'll
work
get that. Huh? Or he'll have to invite you down.
Oh, I'd love
to help him.
I would
Especially
love that.
Especially since your son's in the Marines. But okay, so what we're saying is then the more control you have out of shifting from one energy form into the other, the easier the process.
Okay.
The easier the process.
So there has to be an element of surrender too.
Well, I would think yeah, surrender is right, but I would think you have to have a belief system of something beyond or greater than yourself.
But just a surrender in the sense that you can allow your transition to be smoother.
That kind of a surrender.
Yes.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. Clarify that. Just
if you're doing the preparation if you know you're going to pass soon.
Exactly.
Just, just not fighting it.
Right. Well, that's right. Because, again, we've talked about the power of thought, how you can help it along, speed it up, or slow it down.
Right. Exactly. And we have the power.
Control over that.
Right. And we have the power of our thought to manifest, slowing it down, making it easier, or or making it smoother.
I like to say that I like to live each day of my life like it's the last. And for a while there, that saying was, what is it? Every day is a new beginning. Well, it is, but I also like to keep in mind it could be my last day.
That's right.
So I try not to hurt anyone on purpose. I'm sure I've hurt people's feelings by accident, but not purposely.
Right.
Or I try to do the right thing in my life. Just do the next right thing.
Right. And just doing the right thing.
Period.
Is all. Yeah. Just
period.
For just to make that transition in life. Period. So that's a good way to end this on a positive note.
Yeah, on a positive note, I think that both you and I don't know about anyone else, but I know you well enough because we're friends, and you know me well enough. Have a good frame of mind that we're not scared.
Right.
Speaking of that, what holds people back quite often is fear. So if you don't have that fear to hold you, or you don't have a whole lot of other things to hold you, I think you're probably in a good space, right?
Yeah, I am.
And I'd say we did a good space and good shot today, but I like the food for thought.
All right.
Title,
Well, think about it.